Greetings, family, near and far, on planet, off planet, in the planet, Shambhala, don't know it already. Your nation's agreeable step forward, disagreeable step back, and boy, you shouldn't really be tinkering on shall you do the right thing or shouldn't you do the right thing. You should be just led that way. You know what I mean? Your conscience should guide you. You know what I'm saying? If you've got real feelings, your conscience would guide you. So we're waiting for now. Come we can work with those who are still kind of thinking, shall I, shan't I? Come in, my youth.
And yes, it's STSD program for a reason, because I had to get rid of that old programming that nearly took my life away. It's real life shit. That's why I'm here today. And yeah, we're back with Ladycrowne, and we don't stay down, we stay up.
And we don't shut pop.
Because it's real talk, you know, star. And that way I deal with episode 68. Mm-hmm. It's been a journey, you know.
It sure has.
Yeah, man. Greetings to you all, you know.
Yeah.
Send you all divine blessings. Infinite, baby. You know what I mean?
For real.
We are infinite beings.
Yep. Yeah. For real.
Big ups to all of you.
Yeah. We're here at the allotment.
Bit nippy, bit
It's
nash,
a little bit nash.
You know what I mean?
Overcast, but guess what? We're still out here in the harder nature, baby, and it's just lovely to be up here. So,
yeah, it really
you know,
is.
after we've done this, we'll be doing a good old workout, exercise,
some
workout,
training,
weight training, side. You know what? So
pump it up,
fill up our sweat. You know, yeah, outside gym with a little bit of cover and shelter. So yeah, what can we say? Those of you that are not sleeping, not comatose. What I drip
yeah, trust me.
We got some leaks, you know. We have
got
to
some
get
leaks up here, you know.
My brother for concert is not carrying what I dropped down on me right now. They put the bloody umbrella up underneath the shelter. So yeah, you're aware. You know what's happening and you know what's taking place on the planet. And in terms of your preparation, I'm sure that you are preparing and keep on preparing with your food, your water, your heating, your barterability, yeah, your communities. Do you know what I'm saying? Your crypto. Don't worry and don't watch FXT. Sam Bankman-Fried, whoever his name is, some 29-year-old billionaire. I mean, you have 29-year-old billionaire, you must think, where did he get his money from? You know what I'm saying? FTX exchange, sorry, STS, the third largest crypto exchange went down. Everybody's talking about it. You know something? I went somewhere on Saturday up at the Acne Centre, and somebody that I know said to me, asked me about, oh, you know about the FTX exchange? I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that crypto exchange that went down. This woman's never ever spoken to me about crypto before. See, when you get something in the mainstream like that, you must think to yourself, hang on a second, why is this now in the mainstream? Why? Because it's a big exchange, and what happened? They've had to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Listen, billions, people's lot, a whole lot of people are wiped out. Now, that exchange, you just do some research on it, and you'll see there's lots of videos online about Sam Friedman and the other company that was akin to it, and who these people really are, and how money from those exchanges were funneled back into to support the Democratic Party. I think they were the second largest donators. And George Soros they were the biggest donators to Biden, and George Soros was second. So you must know, sir, a little bit fishy there. So, but it's another way to do what? Get everybody to think, oh, it's a scam, I'm not getting involved, I don't want to be involved in crypto, because once they frighten the hell out of you, because let's face it, you know, when you're in that fear frequency and you fear something that isn't actually real, you manifest it and it becomes real, because you're going to believe the narrative. If you know that the narrative that you've been spun over the last how many freaking centuries, and more recently 2-3 years, is not true, and it's all there to take you away from your greatness, then you must realize that that's what that's there to do as well. Like I've always said, when you and if you do decide to make an investment in some of those cryptocurrencies that are going to make people very, very rich, there's no two ways about it, then you can't leave them on the exchange. You have to remove them and put them into a cold wallet, or use one of those wallets whereby you hold your keys. Can you stop the other breathing, please, STS?
Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm deep breathing because it relaxes my central nervous system. But what I will do, I'll breathe lighter. No, I'm being serious.
I'm being serious as well. Thank you.
No, sorry. I didn't realise.
I know you didn't.
You know, that's Winhoff, or you know Winhoff. Certain interviews are like,
you see my brief through it.
Yeah, my brief, you know, stuff.
So, you know, you're ill-advised if you make investments like that and leave them on an exchange. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto, not your... You don't hold it physically, it's not yours. So people have got to be insane to make purchases on the exchanges and then leave them there. You know what I mean? Oh, I've got Bitcoin. Where's it sat on an exchange? Well, you haven't got it until you got it into your own wallet. It's just another way of them showing you, because what? These exchanges have been selling you stuff that they haven't got. They didn't have the billions or millions that they should have had in Bitcoin. They didn't have it. It was all derivatives, hypothecated. It's, you know, you go into their ledger, you can see, oh yeah, we've got X amount of thousands of Bitcoin, but actually go and look for those Bitcoins in their wallets. They weren't there. And that's the same thing with your banks. I mean, they're making the crypto industry look bad and it's unregulated and blah, blah, blah. That's the same thing with the banks. They don't have your money in those banks. That's why you can only draw out X amount and you need how many days notices. They don't physically hold it there. It's not there. It's just, you know, numbers on a page. So don't be fearful of the cryptocurrencies. Know the ones that you should be getting involved with, your XRP, your XLM, your Algorand, and there's a few others. Chainlink is a very good one. Do you know what I'm saying? And what you must always see, this is an opportunity. When I've said it before, whenever there's blood in the streets and blood in the markets and everybody's running away, you go look, because that's what's happening with the crypto. They want you out. You get panicky. You sell low. You bought high. You sell low, so you're already at a disadvantage. And then the people that have got the wealth sat on the sideline will just come along and scrape it all up. Because trust me, you see XRP at 12 pence and 10 pence. If you don't think, because you might have bought yours at 30 or 40 pence, why would you sell less than that? Because you're fearful, oh, it's going to go to zero, so at least I get something. But no, hold the line.
You buy low and sell high.
That's what you do. Fear will make you sell low. And then you're going to sit down there and scream and kick yourself when you see $10, $5, $15, $20 for one of those tokens that you sold for 20 cents or 10 cents. You get what I'm saying? So hold the line. This is the time to hold your nerve more than you've ever done before and wait. Trust me, because it will have to go through. We have to go through this in order to come out the other end. So don't be fearful. Do you know what I'm saying? Know what you're doing and know why you're doing it. Don't just think, oh, I'm going to get this because he's got it. Know why you're making that investment. Look at the crypto. Look at what XRP is doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, the banks have already implemented the XRP ledger into their system, because the SWIFT system, as we know it, is over. It's dead. So have no fear. Yeah?
Yeah, you know, your mind's very powerful. Whatever you envision, you can manifest. So just be aware of that. And it's all down to your action as well. And what I'd like to ask you, Lady, I'm going to switch it up for this one a bit, is for anybody that is a beginner that is investing in cryptocurrency and also other tangible assets, what would your advice be to them?
My advice would be that you should have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
That you should have some exposure to the crypto and to the precious metals, especially silver, because it's so cheap. So cheap. And it is a way of preserving your hard-earned money that you've worked for, toiled for, your pensions, whatever it is. You can preserve it by converting it. If you don't, then I fear the worst for you, because as we speak, we know it's the currency's been devalued. The more they print, the more they devalue the currency. Interest rates go up, inflation goes up. It's listen. Either way, we're going to be in a world of pain, a world of hate. Well, unfortunately, that's what we're living in, the world of hate. Because if it wasn't so hateful, then guess what? We'd be in abundance. You know what I mean? There'd be nobody sleeping in a doorway. There'd be nobody hungry if it wasn't such a hateful world. Or should I say, those that are pulling the strings and manipulating the currency and taking control. Because you must know this. If there's nothing else that you've actually gotten from what I've been saying over the year, that I've been speaking to on YouTube or any of the other platforms, is that your governments are not there to serve you. If a central bank prints the money that then lends it to your government, then you've got to say, who is in charge of the central banks? Who runs the central banks in your country? Those are the entities that govern your life. And once you know that, you now know that you're not being serviced, you're not being looked after. Because if you were, trust me, we'd have the planet is it has abundance. Everything that you could possibly want is here. But when you have certain entities that decide that they want it all, and you mustn't have any, or whatever you have, they're going to come and take it, then you got to say to yourself, that's not right and that's not fair. So what you got to do? Come in, my youth.
You know what? You know when you just mentioned entities and hate, I'm going to touch on that, yeah? Quotable from my brother K. Reno. He said, one of his bars, he said that the enemy is the entity that you can't see. Subconsciously in your mind is where he wants to be. Okay. It's real life. Like, we're in spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? You got to realize what you're dealing with. A lot of people's issues is internal and external, of course. They're both connected. And when you're talking about hate, another quotable from my brother K. Reno, he said, we love to hate because we hate to love. Deep it.
Yeah.
You know? And the more that we vibrate in the love frequencies, the more that we can deal with the hatred that's been installed within us.
Yeah.
And heal it. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Because as long as you got hate within you, oh my God, it's going to be a terrible life for you. It's going to be a terrible life for you, because that same frequency that you're emitting outwardly is going to come back. You know? It's a boomerang. Boom!
Yeah.
Licks you right in the head top.
You
know what I mean? And when you got hate within your heart, you can hate anybody out here. You can even hate a little child, because it's such a vicious frequency. You know what I mean? Hate's a powerful word, you know. Like, I hate you. When you say that, you don't even feel good when you say it. You get me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that we need to deal with. But yeah, you know what? Also, what I'd like to ask you about, I don't know whether you got the answer for this, is what countries would you advise people to move to if shit hits the fan? They say Brazil's a good country. Also, some countries in Africa.
They are, but wherever it is, if you're of a mindset to do that, then you got to do some real due diligence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to go scout it. You got to go look for yourself. You know, because you know something. Sometimes you open up some brochure and you look at some really nice place, and when you get there, I want to push it all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody else is giving you a representation of what they want you to actually believe.
Yeah.
If you're not in a position to go anywhere, then you got to make the most of the situation that you're in, and sometimes that might be a really good thing, because number one, it's an area that you're familiar with, the culture, the people, you know what I'm saying, your communities. You can start knocking on doors if you haven't done before, just to let people know that you're there and this is what's going to happen, and you know, are they prepared? So you get what I'm saying. We can start doing things on a grassroots level. I think the time will come where a lot of people say, you know, something, it's time for me to go. But when you're doing something like that, then that's something that you're planning to do. It doesn't just present itself and you just get up and go. You're putting things in place. You're preparing for that. You know, I've got my sight set on not being here by 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reasons are actually transpiring right in front of you as to why this is no longer a place where.
Why is that? Because you can see the future. You're visionary. Because you got certain information installed within you. You're realizing, I might have to make a move here.
Yeah.
You know.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Because there's so much more to life. The world is a big, beautiful place.
It's massive.
You know, sometimes you don't wait for those that have been controlling you for the last how many thousand years to start rewriting the history books. You go and look for yourself, go and see it for yourself, taste it for yourself, touch it for yourself, smell it for yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everything that we've ever been taught is a lie.
Pack of lies.
I told you, a pack of lies, and people are dying for those lies. You know, we've been lied to. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? And more recently, you know, the big old dirty lie that you've had more recently. Yeah? People are asking for amnesty because, we didn't know. So, you know, when you ask for amnesty, for something that you now know was wrong, the way that you treated and ostracized and bullied people and vilified people and made them feel uncomfortable, upset children because they had to do certain things when they went to certain places and had to wear certain things when they went to certain places, and how that actually scarred the minds of these little people. To just say, we'd like amnesty, it's not good enough, is it really? When you've created a trespass or you've breached the peace of somebody, then you have to offer remedy. And number one remedy is actually putting your hand up and say, something? I'm sorry. I really am truly sorry. I believed what I was told. I didn't do any due diligence, and I didn't listen to those who had and knew more and knew better than me. And I apologise for that. And because of my ignorance, certain people have suffered. Some gravely. Some are no longer here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because of the ignorance. So you cannot give, to say to somebody, oh, okay, you didn't know, so no, you've got to ask for that forgiveness. And first and foremost, you need to actually say why you need that forgiveness, why you're asking for it, what have you done? Do you know what I'm saying? Then we might be able to offer amnesty. But until then, no, I forgive you because you were ignorant, but I don't forget. I don't forget because every day I'm having to acknowledge and deal with the results of the ignorance of a lot of people. Some of them, people that we looked up to. I don't look up to none of them who came out and broadcasted what they were going to do. They didn't want anybody sitting next to them on a train. They didn't want this, didn't want that. Some real so-called celebrities, because as we already know, we're the real celebrities up in this thing here. Those are the men and women that need to come. All those that sat and said what they said and did what they did in terms of, they need to come and ask for forgiveness. They need to, because this thing, regardless of what you did, didn't make any difference in terms of its transmissibility. Yeah? Now you know that. You now know that you were wrong. You acting on advice that wasn't correct. What are you going to do about it? Get out there and let the whole world know. Go on mainstream media, put an ad out and seek the forgiveness that you now need. Because without that, you have no amnesty.
The mind is sensitive, and due to the things that have been happening recently, it can have a real bad effect on you even still now, because negative feedback loop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you haven't done a certain amount of inner work, it's hard for you to stay present. So your mind naturally drifts back, and more time it might be back to a negative experience. So we do need to we need to work on ourselves. It's so key for us, because without that, we're going to be living in the past and not having a vision for our future. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're right in a lot of what you're saying. We need to forgive, but in order for us to do that,
somebody's got to ask for forgiveness, haven't they?
You go.
If I committed a trespass on you, if I've done something to cause you harm, loss, or injury, I've got to come and say, look, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. As a result of my car hitting you, I've now injured your car and caused you an injury. I'm so sorry. I need to make remedy. Get the car fixed and compensate you for any injuries that you might have suffered. You see what I'm saying? There has to be an exchange.
Because with forgiveness, now you can move on.
Exactly.
But obviously, like you said earlier, it's hard for you to forget.
You don't forget.
Because that's how the mind works. But like I said, when you do the inner work, then you can release the past traumas and then move on, push on in your life. But I feel for people out there that are still going through pain within them because of what happened in the past. Because that's how the mind works. If you don't work on the mind, you have to deal with what it's showing you all the time. You know what I mean? Without moving on. But what else was I going to ask you? What do you think about what's going on in the governments and the politicians?
Oh my goodness!
Because I know you know a bit about that.
For me, it's absolute theatre.
Yeah,
and theatrics.
Yeah,
that's all you're seeing. When they sit in Parliament, they deliberate on acts. They acts, ACT. They're acting. And you now have Rishi Washi as your Prime Minister. You have up to, so they say, up to present day 40,000 Albanians have arrived in this country.
40,000?
40,000
Wow.
to date. 40,000.
What time period is this?
Since January.
This year?
This year. And they've been coming in since 2020.
Wow.
Now when people were in their homes and hiding from the boogeyman, these people were coming in. So, you know, you're probably looking at maybe 200,000 since the start of the you know what, that took place in 2020. In March 19th, 2020, on the .gov website, it was classed as a non-high coincidence disease.
Sorry.
But yet still, you know, the whole country went into I don't know what to call it, Bizarro land, lockdown, and all the rest of it. So yeah, and a lot of these a lot of these are men. They are, you know, 18 to 28.
I remember you saying that they've been placed in hotels.
Yeah, it's costing the average £7 million a day.
So who's paying that?
The taxpayers.
Yeah, the taxpayers.
Yeah. So you're there, your granny's cold, she can't put her heating on or is afraid to put it on, and we've got people that have no allegiance to the country, being put up in 4-star hotels and being fed 3 times a day, watered, given mobile phones and money, and the elderly are sitting in their homes afraid to put their heating on. It's an absolute travesty that this is taking place, but yet again, your mainstream media are not reporting. They're not telling you.
It won't be televised.
But guess what? We are coming to some very difficult times. There are going to be those shortages because it's all going to happen. Now, if you're going to be struggling with your populace as it is, what's going to happen when they're no longer able to cater for these people in their 4- and 5-star hotels? They don't get fed and watered in there. What do you think 40,000, 200,000 people, mainly young men, are going to start doing in this country? There are some places where they're in hotels and the locals are fearful. They don't go out after 11 o'clock at night. They're that scared. This is a tinderbox, and all it takes is for one spark and the whole thing's going to go up. And unfortunately, that's what I can see is going to happen.
You know, they say, you know, zombie apocalypse and things like that. Things are going to be happening in the future. This is why earlier on about, you know, having a plan, you know, about moving and things like that, and to a country that serves us. Also, what I'd like to ask you is about, could you explain to the people about the chieftains and also what a live life claim is?
Oh, well, all I would suggest is that you go on to markchristopher.com, go onto his website. All the courses that he does are on there. The Tricks and Traps course, which is one that I did some years ago. It's not cheap. It's probably, I think it's just under £7,000 for that course. So it's not cheap, but it's how much do you want to pay for your freedom, I suppose, you know?
Yeah, it's priceless. What's
it worth to you? The Live Life claim is a package that you can buy on its own, I think. Gives you the video telling you exactly what to do and how to do it. But having a Live Life claim isn't the be all and the end all. It's how you then stand up in, you know, your power as a Live Life claimant, because you're dead on paper, by virtue of your birth certificate and the Crown copyright to it was then Elizabeth II. Now you have King Charles, and you must also know that when they say King Charles, they're not referring to the man that you see in front of your face, because they would say King Charles the third, just as they used to say Elizabeth II. Do you know what I'm saying? They have to define, they have to give that, and you just hear them say King Charles, because it's all a charade. He was
throwing eggs at him.
He was pelted. He was pelted with eggs last week, and people were shouting things at him. I think, you know, the king's hasn't got any clothes on. There's a little boy shouting, you know, it might be his grand carriage and riding down, but then there's a little boy jumps out and says, "Oh, king's got no clothes on, he's naked." They are. They're bare naked, and it's so obvious now for so many people. You cannot be there looking up to some man who calls himself whatever, a king, or some woman who calls herself a queen. And what's the difference between you and them? They've got all the wealth and you haven't, and you're going to worship them because of that. The monarchy is dead. Long live the monarchy. It's over. That can't wash anymore with men and women out there, because if you really had a monarchy and really had a king or a queen who looked after his or her subjects, guess what? There wouldn't be any suffering. There wouldn't be any wants. There wouldn't be children hungry. There wouldn't be children. Do you see what I'm saying? It would be a world of abundance, and that's exactly what we had, a world of abundance. But through, thousands of years of indoctrination and slavery of the mind, not just the physical the mental, it's taken us away from that greatness that was in us. But guess what? That never left us. It's in your DNA. It's in all of our DNA. And all it takes for us to do is just be still and listen to the universe.
Yeah.
She's speaking to you
all the time.
All the time.
What we should do is worship ourselves. That's what our ancestors done, because they knew who they truly were. A lot of us have lost that knowledge, and knowledge is power. When you tap into the knowledge of yourself, you realize that like one of the first rules of nature, self-preservation. It's so key for us, because if you do for self, then you can do for others. It's simple as that. When you've got self-hatred and things like that, what we was on about earlier, you're emitting that same frequency outwardly to others as well. If you hate yourself, you hate other people.
Yeah, it's not possible to love them, is it?
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. You have to tap into self-love, self-awareness, and realise how powerful you are, baby.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
This one's been a bit of a different one, but it's beautiful, because it's good to switch it up sometimes. And also, I like to end on this for Ladycrowne, because I know she's got good information for you. If you can give the people, certain people that you're tapped into, that are giving you certain downloads that can help them on their journey.
What was that?
If you could give the people, the people that you're tapped into, certain names like Robert Kiyosaki. Sorry,
Gotcha.
I said it quite quickly.
Yes. Well, as you said, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Andy Sheckman.
Yeah.
Dr. Kia Pruitt. Cliff High.
Dr. Cliff. Yeah.
Big Swear. You definitely need to check out Big Swear.
Jay
Snip 4.
Yeah.
JC.
Jean-Claude. Penny Kelly.
Teacher, Lynette Zhang. Do you know what I mean? Gerald Celente.
Yeah.
Peter Schiff.
Yeah.
Max Kaiser. So many, and they are all shouting out. They are all warning everybody. Alice, I can't remember his surname now. It's from Gold Money. If you search goldmoney.com, you'll find his name. Bo Pony, Gold Forecast 2020. You can check him out. So much. Clem Clement, he's no longer with us. He transitioned, but he prophesied so many things that are taking place right now back in 2024. 2014. So they're out there, and they're all literally singing off the same hymn sheet. They can see what's coming, and they're screaming at everybody out here to actually protect themselves and prepare for what's coming, because regardless of what takes place on the planet, it's going to happen. But our impacts on you depends on how much you're prepared. Do you get what I'm saying? I remember speaking some time ago before they leaked off the channel about bracing for for impact. The plane's going down and you brace for impact. If it manages to land, then you've got more chance of walking away from that plane than if you don't prepare. And you've got no life jacket, or you've got no air parachute. You know what I mean? You're going to crash and burn. So it's about doing all of those things. I said it before and I'll say it again. Prepare. One thing I will want to say before it finishes, because we've got 29 finishes 33. There's a certain imbecile on television at the minute who's in some jungle game, and I have to call him that because that's exactly what he is. And I'm talking about, the Madazalam man, as I like to call him. It's just shows you how they can put somebody like that on a program like that. And the program itself is not something that anybody should be tuned into. You know, eating a kangaroo's nutsacks and his penis is not some.
That's a Mazzolini.
Yeah, do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's called entertainment. Can you not see what they're doing with men and women? You know, normalizing something that is just so obscene. It is obscene, but yet people are there. You know, because he's having all sorts of things thrown on him. It's like a humiliation ritual for him.
That's exactly what it is.
It is, but you know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of men and women who are no longer here because of the orders of that imbecile. So I think people need to be very mindful of what they tap into. And if you think, oh yeah, that's his just reward, he hasn't received his just reward because he's been paid £400,000 for that acting that's going off in there right now. Yeah, so justice must be done. It must be seen to be done. We must have remedy because the things that have taken place on this planet, trust me, they need remedy. People need remedy. Because we cannot, if we don't do that, then we're doomed to repeat history. And right now, you know, the Third Reich is now the Fourth Reich, because you can see the kind of things that have been said and done. Some of the things that took place when we had the lockdowns, you would have said, not in my lifetime. That happened back in Hitler's days. Well, we saw it. You know, the passports that they wanted you to carry in. Man, oh man, it's like being in a freaking movie. It really is, but it actually happened, and that's because we didn't stand up and do what we needed to do as a collective to protect the elderly and to protect the young. Because sometimes you got lunatics running the asylum. You have to acknowledge that they're lunatics and do something about them. Take them out. We're done.
Yeah, the separation is the illusion, and the truth is connection. And yeah, keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals, because we're there with you.
Spiritually.
STS and Ladycrowne over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace, my people.
Peace.